I just had a repeat of the old orientation issue yet again. I don't know. Okay. Hello. Announce yourselves in chat. Say hello. You want to select live chat or all messages rather than top chat or best chat or whatever they word it. Come and say hello. Like RLRG there. Did I get that right? Sorry, mate. I don't know if I've got a name for you or if I'm just not remembering. I'm bad at all that. Okay. Shall I stop prattling and make a beginning? Make a start. Okay, folks. This is episode 60 of TrampCast. We're broadcasting this on Sunday, March the 30th, 2025. But we're covering the week ending Sunday, March the 16th, 2025, which was the middle of the week of hell. If you remember where we were last week when we left off with our story. In the end, folks, we had 3 weeks of bad weather, which I couldn't be bothered renaming the playlists and things. It is still all just called the week of hell, but we had like 18 or 19 days of it, however long that was. So we are a couple of weeks behind with the story. So the title of this particular episode is The Second Week of Hell. Although I don't think I ever really called it that properly anywhere. I kept calling it the Week of Hell Day 8, 10, 13, whatever. But here we go. Okay, the channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's me. Or at least I play him on the internet. Sometimes. Down and out. Homeless guy, a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some would say a bum, particularly the Americans. Someone who sleeps rough on the streets or in a field, like me. Torrevieja, down and out in Torrevieja. Torrevieja is a city on the southeast coast of Spain, on the Costa Blanca south. This is TrampCast, where we discuss the successes, the failures and the other happenings in my life as a tramp, as a homeless guy, as a hobo, however you want to put that. Okay, folks, if you would consider hitting the thumbs up for me. Perhaps, if you haven't already, subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps you to not miss a video, and hit that bell if you want to receive all the notifications. It's entirely free. They just use the word subscribe just to mean like a favourites or keep me informed kind of thing. You could perhaps consider donating. I will shortly be purchasing a new tent, hopefully. There are a few irons in the fire on that one. I've got most of, well, okay, let me break this down. I've got the money I need. Well, I've got the number, but in euros, not in pounds. And the one I'm looking at is in pounds. So I need to span that difference. I'm just a little bit short on that side of things. But I will be needing. If you've seen any of the story. Oh, is that right? Is that right, Terry? Second anniversary starting the channel. Could well be, mate, or at least uploading the first video, the 30th of, was it March? Might have been May. Oh, it might have been May. Maybe this is when I created the channel. I don't know, and I can't go and check right now. What do you know? Because if I leave this screen, it all ends and goes wrong. I'll have to check. There could well be anniversaries involved. It's not impossible at this point. Where was I, folks? I was talking about getting a new tent. If you've followed the story at all for the last, well, at all ever, but the last 3 or 4 weeks in particular, you'll know that my tent is on its last legs. I made a mistake early on in not putting tarpaulins over the top because I was getting a lot of grief from the local authorities. Got arrested a couple of times. They kicked my dog. Yeah, also, so they visited twice within the first day or two that the tent went up. We had a finger wag at one point, and we had someone come down and take photos and reporting back to their boss. Yeah, you know. So I felt threatened enough to not be putting bright blue tarpaulins over the top of the tent. With hindsight, that's a mistake. I could have protected the tent certainly from the ultraviolet. Probably couldn't have protected it from the winds, and we did get them within days of putting the tent up. If you look back at those videos from those times. So what I'm asking in a roundabout way, if any of you have got a few pounds, euros, dollars to spare, I don't need much. I am there or thereabouts for the new tent. Just it's that conversion from euros to pounds that I've got numbers. Now, I was looking at some cheaper alternatives earlier this weekend, but they don't look viable for one reason or another. Happy to discuss that with you all, probably in a TrampCast special sometime soon. This isn't really the place for that. We're discussing really the week up to March the 16th, 2025, and the second week of the week of hell. I know I should have renamed it, but it just tickles my sense of humour talking about day 13 of the week of hell and day 18. So there you go. Now, check that you're live. Some people will join later on, and they'll be following along kind of an hour behind and commenting, and it'll be lost. The comments won't make sense to me or to any of us. So check that you've got the red dot in the bottom and the word live. And if you are watching this on a different day, not on the Sunday as it's been broadcast live, you want to watch it with chat replay, and you want all messages, or just make sure it doesn't say top messages or top chat. You want to see everything as it happens, which I can't see because this app is crap. Oh, Karen's there. I didn't see you. It is a lovely day. It is a lovely day right now. Hence, we're outside and not. You know, I've been watching the videos back, the recent ones, and that blue light because of the tarpaulin over the roof. That's all pretty wonky. So it's nice to be outside. I wasn't sure which way I was going to face. I've got my parasol out that Susan bought me last summer. My friend Susan bought. Very generous of her. Amongst other things. I don't know if you're still out there, Susan, but thank you very, very much. It's here and on standby in case it's needed, maybe as the sun moves around behind a little bit more. But let's crack on, folks. Let's crack on. Announcements. We got to do some announcements. We do have a beer sponsor for this episode. Ivan sent a PayPal donation and marked it as beer, so that makes him the beer sponsor for this episode. Could have been last week's, but I couldn't remember who sent the money in the end. I apologise for my bad memory and disorganised. Really, I should have written it down, but I only looked up at the last minute before the last stream, and by the time I started and got through with all the orientation hiccups. It's been a battle the last 3 times now. I think they've backported an old issue that they had fixed, and now they've reintroduced it. But anyway, enough of me complaining about that. Two more announcements, and these are kind of out of place, but I have to do them, folks. You'll see why when I say what we're talking about here. The reason that I've almost got enough money for the tent. A big reason. I received two huge donations last week while talking about this. So whilst this episode is supposed to be talking about the weekend in March the 16th, I can't let this pass. My mate Scruff Dog, whose channel I watch 2 or 3 times a week, in particular Saturday nights and Wednesday nights, and there's sometimes some other ones along the way. Scruff Dog made a donation last week, a large donation that moved the needle significantly. I won't say amounts, but thank you, Scruff Dog. Yeah, cheers, mate. I know I've thanked you already, probably about 3 or 4 times, but I can't let an amount like that just go by without acknowledging it. And also, folks, Adam and Mel, who are often here in chat. You see, look, I've done it again. I'm promoting their channel because they I'll have links in the description afterwards. I didn't have time to finish it all off before we went live. I'll have links to Scruff Dog and to Adam and Mel's channel. Scruff Dog's is slightly larger than mine. Adam and Mel's is a smaller channel that they're wanting to get moving. The name is something along the lines of touring Torrevieja and Spain. I don't know if they're here. I haven't seen them yet. No, but they'll be by. I'll put a proper link in the description after, and it'll be in most of my videos from here on out. They made a tremendous donation, folks. I don't want to tell you the amount, but I think they are the third member of the Ton Up Club. I think they are and it was above and beyond that. So thank you so much, guys. As I said, there will be links in the description after, and maybe in the pinned comment if I'm organized enough. We'll have to see. Stay here, Tina. Oh, here's one of the we haven't done yet. Here we go. Oh, the first click didn't work. We're back to that again. Tina girl, this way, sweetheart. She's just finished her main meal of the day. Hey babe, come and say hello to the peoples. Tina girl. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to interrupt. She was just starting to slope off up this little path here and away, and if I'd not interrupted myself to introduce Tina, she would have been away. So I had to call her back. Okay, folks, where are we? So that's the announcements. Thank you to all you guys. To Ivan for being the beer sponsor, to Scruff Dog for the donation, and to Adam and Mel for the absolutely stupendous donation. Thank you all. Now, let's get on with things, shall we? The format of the show from here is the numbers first, isn't it? It's the numbers. We start with the numbers. This is episode 60, so we'll have some facts about the number 60. See how that works. Following that, it'll be the thank yous. Then it will be the themes for the week. And these are all about the week in question, not this week. I know I've just taken an aside about those important donations we just had, but these will be about the week in question, themes for the week. Then we'll go through the week itself, and then we'll maybe have a little chat about what I was worried about at the time about the upcoming issues. But they're all fairly obvious. We were in the middle of horrendous storms. Upcoming issues were staying dry and hoping the tent didn't blow away, that kind of thing. So okay, folks, as I said, this is episode 60 of TrampCast. So facts about the number 60. The number 60 is divisible by very, very many numbers. In mathematical terms, they call this highly compositable. There we go. We were just talking about you, Adam and Mel. You've missed it. You'll have to rewind and play that part back. So the number 60 is highly compositable, meaning divisible by many numbers, and in particular, the first 6 integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, divisible by all of them. And then their corollaries for the multiplicands, the 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. Which is the reason that it was picked as the early number system of Babylonians and some other earlier civilizations. Now, the word for this is, let's see whether I can get this one spat out properly. Unlike, was it last week where I was tripping over a word? Sexagesimal. It might be decimal rather than decimal, but I'm going to go sexagesimal. So this was the base 60 kind of number system of the Babylonians and others. So this is the reason that we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. It's the reason why there are 360 degrees. It's 6 times the 60. 60 minutes in a degree of angles, and 60 seconds in a minute. Did I say that right? 60 minutes in a degree, 60 seconds in a minute. A nautical mile is intended to be 1 minute of latitude, which is why it varies from the standard mile, the geographic mile, whatever the correct term is. Now, 60 is also historically retirement age in many civilizations, many countries and societies. Consequently, or I guess as a corollary, Hinduism celebrate the 60th birthday of men, celebrated with a ceremony called Sashti. What else have we got? We've got diamond wedding anniversaries and royal jubilees and things. The diamond anniversaries and diamond jubilees. 60 is also regarded as an important performance measurement in cars. 0 to 60, how quickly a car goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour. Now here we've got one, guys. It's science, but it's not the periodic table just yet. We'll get to that later. This one is carbon 60, your Buckminster fullerene, aka buckyballs, which discovered in I think 85 or thereabouts, and it's made of 20 hexagons and 12 pentagons. Basically, if you look at a soccer ball, you're looking at a fullerene, at a Buckminster fullerene carbon 60 molecule. The name Buckminster fullerene, named after an architect, Buckminster Fuller, who had a geodesic dome of that pattern. So when the scientists were trying to formulate how you would make a shape out of this molecule, and then they saw this this geodesic dome, that's when it clicked, and so they named the molecule after him because of his sculpture. Now, they were when they were discovered, when they were first discovered, it lit the world of science alight. They thought this was going to be something fantastic. Imagine a ball-shaped molecule. If you could trap something inside, you could change the properties of the molecule. Was kind of their theory, and maybe you could just swap out one of the links, and insert another chemical, and you'd have lots and lots of variations. So there was all these theories, and it was going to revolutionize the world, so they thought. And so far, and we're talking about 40 years, but so far it just hasn't happened. They're still investigating it, they're still chasing avenues down, but it hasn't really happened. Now, where it has made a difference, imagine you've got all of these balls, and if you could stop them from being balls, if you could open up the ends, you could make tubes. And this was your carbon nanotubes or carbon nanofiber tubes, and these are likewise being investigated and are showing much more promise and applications. So that's interesting. And I remember this particularly well because I was when I was at university in the early 90s. So discovered in 85, and they were wondering what all the uses were going to be, and there were new discoveries being made about it all the time. So every time I was opening New Scientist every week, there it was. It was everywhere. It was, again, the early days of the internet, reading websites and seeing stories about all these new discoveries, new properties, new things that it might be able to do. Just never really happened so far. Okay, folks. Most weeks, we have an international direct dialing code. This week, the direct dialing code 60. We'll get to you Malaysia. Okay, finally, as we always do, the periodic table. Atomic number 60. Neodymium with the symbol ND, November Delta. A rare earth metal, hard, slightly malleable and silvery metal that tarnishes quickly in air. Mostly mined in China, as the vast majority of the rare earth minerals are. Popular early uses were in glass dyes, where it gave a reddish purple hue. Nowadays, it's also used in lasers to help with infrared wavelengths. Also, neodymium is a powerful magnetic, has powerful magnetic properties, which means it has wide applications in things like microphones, speakers, certain electric motors, and consequently generators, because motors and generators are about the same thing in reverse. The name neodymium comes from the Greek for new twin, neo meaning new, and the dymium part was something like dymium or something. I didn't write it down, should have, but it new twin. So there you go, folks. Those are facts relating to the number 60, because this is TrampCast episode 60. Thumbs up, folks. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take a sip of coffee if you haven't. Oh, it's going cold a bit too quick. I'll have to put the lid on. I left the lid off to get it cool a bit because I made it a bit too close to the start time. Let me see whether I'm missing anything in chat. Whoa, oh, Bella, Belinda, Binny. Okay. Adam and Mel are eating their dinner. Thomas is here. Hello, Thomas Eriksson. Good day, my friend. British summertime began this morning at, well, 2 o'clock stroke 3 o'clock, yeah? Here in most of Europe, I think. And that was Karen saying it's a lovely day. And it is indeed a lovely day. 60 is how old you feel today. I'm not far off. I've only got about 3.5 years to go. 3 3/4 maybe. I don't know. Fudge the numbers a bit. Okay, folks. Where are we? That was the numbers. So next is the thank yous. I've written them too small. Oh well, I'm glad that Bella, Binny, Belinda is here in the house, because the week in question, the week ending March the 16th, 2025, we did a TrampCast. I think it was a TrampCast special one night, and she was in attendance, and she made a donation during the live stream. I had the plink go off when PayPal does its thing. So thank you, Bella, Binny, Belinda, all 5 of you. I cannot remember any of the others. Really? No, not offhand, but I know that there are more. Okay. Also, possibly even the same night, was Ivan M, who is this episode's beer sponsor. So it's kind of a good coincidence that I forgot his name last week and he couldn't be the beer sponsor then. He's the beer sponsor now. Other thanks that week were to a lady called Erika, Swedish lady. Basically Erica, but pronounced wrong. I'm going to set all the Scandies off again, aren't I? Erika. She was leaving that day. I think I might have said this wrong. I might have put this in last week's. Yeah, folks, there will be links to Adam and Mel's channel afterwards. Or Karen could post a link maybe if she's technical enough. I'm not sure. She is a moderator, so she has those powers. I don't have any kind of text box to type, so I can't do it, unfortunately. But yeah. So Erika stopped by. She was leaving the country, so basically on the way to the airport. She brought some bread and cheese, and she brought me a hoodie. And yeah. So thank you, Erika. Sorry, I lost my place on the page there. Did I not? Okay, you see, I know that there are other people here. I'm sure that Colleen stopped by this particular week, and also my mate Tom definitely did, and I haven't added him to the thank yous. Let me just double check that. I'm remembering the right week, aren't I? I'm gonna say so. Oh yeah, he absolutely did, because he stopped by on his way he was leaving the country after we did a live stream on Was it Thursday night? Or Friday? Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. I caught myself. Yeah, we had on Thursday night we did a late night live stream for 3.5 hours, just a TrampCast special, just like a hangout. And Tom was leaving the country for like a 4 or 5 o'clock flight, so he stopped off here on the way past and just brought me the remnants of his cupboards. You know, the food that was going to go off while he was away. So thank you, Tom, as well. And I probably missed some others. If I forgot to put Tom on, I probably forgot others. I shall give them a separate shout out as we go through the week's progress, folks. There are other people, I'm sure. Okay, those were the thank yous as far as I wrote them down. Apologies to anyone and everyone that I missed, because, you know. But themes for the week, folks. Themes for the week of the week ending Sunday, March the 16th. So a couple of weeks ago, the week from 3 weeks to 2 weeks ago. The themes, they're all just obvious, aren't they? We were in the middle of the week of hell. It's storms, thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Torrential rain, the state of the tent, whether I could get through the week and stay dry, keep me and my doggy darling dry, even though we got rained on in bed inside the tent. Managing power, days when the weather forecast says there's going to be no sun and you've got 2 or 3 days and it's raining most of the day. So yeah, all of those are the obvious themes. And the other one, of course, which has been ongoing now for a little while and is getting worse. Mice. I hate mice to pieces. Little bastards. They're worse now than they were then, but we had some issues. This is the week where I found where they were coming in. I think I talked about it last week in passing, because they'd been in the tent, but this is the week where I actually found their fucking hole where they came up and found the 4 or 5 biscuit tins full of soil that I had to bail out of there. So those, folks, those are the themes of that particular week. So just before we start going through the individual days and detailing the successes, the failures, the other happenings in my life as a tramp in Torrevieja. I like saying that. Before we do that, I'll just have a quick swig of beer. I'm doing two-handed drinking. Well, I've got 2 cups of coffee here and I've got beer. Because we've got a beer sponsor, it would be rude not to. So cheers to Ivan, who's, I haven't actually checked, his handle on here is Good Music. I don't know if he's actually got a channel with you know, with many subscribers. Maybe have a look. Good Music, I think it's all one word. I could be wrong. He might pop in, hopefully. I haven't seen him so far though. Oh, I'm waving fingers in front of the... Sorry folks, the chat is on the same side as the camera. It's just a bad design. When I watch YouTube live streams, chat is on the right hand side of the screen. Why, when I'm broadcasting, they put it on the left, so I'm waving my fingers in front of the bloody camera to scroll it? I have no idea. Bad user experience, bad user interface design. Cheers to the subscribers. If you're feeling left out, folks, because you're not a subscriber, the button's just down there, or it might be just down there, depending on. I think my screen's. I think they reverse the image while I'm broadcasting. I think it's the other way around when we get there. So I'm going to say it's down there, and check that you're live down there. Red dot. Okay. We're coming up on 30 minutes in, folks. Shall we begin? Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Watch with Mother, if I remember correctly. I was more of an Andy Pandy generation myself than Watch with Mother. For the Brits out there who are of a certain age, it was Andy Pandy and Luby Lou. Yeah, okay, folks. We'll start, as we often do, with the Sunday after the previous live stream. Now, just as a reminder, We're doing the week ending March the 16th, so the Sunday we start with was March the 9th. This, if you remember, if you were there for this live stream, this was right at the start of the when we did the week of hell, and it was just beginning that first. Was it the first weekend? We'd had the build up. This was the one where the tent was blowing all over the place. That really strong wind when I was trying to do the TrampCast. So we pick up now just after that live stream. After that really windy one where I was getting blown to hell. So when I hung up from that live stream, I didn't realise this during the live stream, but my phone was down to 15%. So it's probably a good job we did hang up when we did. I'd started literally on 100%. I unplugged the phone from the EcoFlow as we started. But that's how much power it uses just doing a couple of hours of this live streaming. The screen has to be a good brightness. It's doing the 1080 or 720p, whatever the resolution is on these live streams. It's doing that, and it's doing the whole internet thing, broadcasting it all out. The phone's doing a lot of work, uses a lot of power, and this is a quite heavy usage phone anyway. So my power was right down, so I had to plug in straight away. Now, we'd had those heavy winds, and it was still windy, obviously. It didn't stop just because I stopped broadcasting. Sometimes it stops when I turn the camera on to show everyone how bad it is, but no, not this time. So I went to kind of inspect the tent and see how many of these clamps, these grips, see how many I'd lost, and to re-secure as many as I could find. This is where I checked the weather forecast, obviously. I mean, that was an ongoing thing during this whole period. And we had one weather forecast saying we were going to get 4 millimeters of rain overnight. And we had another forecast saying 30 millimeters, 3 centimeters, over an inch. About an inch and a quarter, maybe. That's a big difference. That's a big difference, 4 millimeters and 30 millimeters. But that's the kind of trauma I had this entire period. Weather forecasts. They didn't agree with themselves, they didn't agree with each other, and they would change like that, usually after the weather changed. No rain, no rain. It starts raining. Oh, rain, says the forecast. Thanks. Yeah. Now, after the TrampCast, I was a little bit cold. I'd sat here like now. I've got a jumper behind me, a sweater. I had a hoodie with me, but I didn't put it on. So I'd sat there all cold, and this is, I don't even realise I'm too busy talking and checking chat and reading my notes, juggling other things. I don't notice when I get cold. So when I stand up at the end and the blood kind of starts to move and my body realises how cold it actually is, it hits me. Bloody hits me. So I was cold, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get warm. So I got into bed, and for like the first hour, my feet were freezing, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get my feet warm. And then I realised, wet socks, folks, wet socks. If you watch any of the videos, and I refer to my shoes were wet through. Not so much because I'd been out in the rain, but because there were puddles of water inside the tent where my shoes were sat, and it had not even registered with me that my socks were wet through. So I've got into bed fully dressed because it's a storm. I have to be ready to jump out at a moment's notice, and yeah, my socks are wet, and consequently they're trying to dry, which has an evaporation process, doesn't it? And that has that takes the heat from your feet. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. So yeah, so I took the socks off, kept them in bed with me so that my body heat would dry the socks overnight. But I had to, even then my feet wouldn't warm up to begin with. I had to form the two quilts on the bed, the covers on the bed, into a pocket and get my feet fully kind of enclosed in a pocket to keep the heat in and get my feet warmed up. Most uncomfortable having cold feet all night or half the night. Most uncomfortable. Okay folks, that was Sunday night. obviously, all of these nights, I'm going to be, unless I tell you otherwise, I'm going to be awake more or less all night. There's storms blowing a gale, there's thunder and lightning, the rain's lashing down, there's water coming in. I'm in and out checking the roof and making repairs, or not so much repairs, but just trying to pull the tarp taut, trying to keep things tight and reattaching these pegs. So, you know, awake most of the night on and off. And 8:30 I take Tina for a walk, and I've had the EcoFlow in the bedroom with me to charge the phone and everything. I think I mentioned this last week. I used to use an extension cable, a USB extension lead into the bedroom, but that lead is now unreliable. So I'm unplugging the EcoFlow at night and taking it into the bedroom and keeping the phone charged there. So in the morning I have to bring the EcoFlow back out, balance it precariously on the box that it's on, plug the solar panel in, and then put the panel out, deploy the solar panel properly. So we do all the usual, and this was where Erika came around. I think I sat out. We had a little bit of brightness maybe, and so I sat out for like half an hour and got my coffee. And Erika came and dropped off these bits, bread, cheese, and a hoodie, and some things for Tina, which was really nice of her. Again, thank you, Erika. So quickly, and amazingly quickly, folks, and especially given the weather forecasts and everything, get the EcoFlow back up to 100% by 9:45, fully charged before 10 o'clock. On a day when the forecasts are for ludicrous amounts of wind and rain and thunder and lightning. Yeah. So all day we've got these forecasts. But as I said, I was tired. I'd been awake for multiple nights, multiple days on end. So I lay down just to watch a video, and the next thing I know, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I've had about, you know, like 2 or 3 hours of a nap in the morning. So yeah, and again, we've still got the bad gusts of wind and everything, but again, look, see, not long later. So we have the afternoon, you know, we have the rest of the day, and it's stay inside. The weather's bad, but not too bad. The forecast is threatening rain, but it's not happening. They're threatening thunder and lightning all day, and they keep pointing it back and pointing it back. So the threat of rain, but no actual rain, but the gusts of wind. The gusts of wind, folks, are off the scale. Stronger gusts than on the days when we were told we were getting 65 km/h gusts. It felt stronger. I was aiming to take Tina for a late walk somewhere around midnight, because we'd been out in the afternoon, just a quick walk just for her ablutions. I was aiming for a midnight walk. I was fast asleep again. I could not stay awake at times because I'd been awake so long on the other nights. So consequently, 4 o'clock in the morning, dog walk. It's a theme. It could have been a theme of the week, I think, actually. But all through this period, crazy time of night for dog walks. Now I looked up at the sky, and it was cloudy as hell, which was weird because the last time I'd looked out of the tent and looked up, it was like crystal clear and sharp, windy as hell. But when I'd last looked out, maybe when I was closing the door, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, it's kind of clear outside, windy but clear. So to look up and see it cloudy as hell, it's a bit strange. It was quite a turnaround in a few short hours, from fully clear to total cloud cover. Anyway, so it's Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. dog walk, cloudy, yeah. At 8 o'clock, 8:30 actually, wake up and put the solar panel out. The EcoFlow's down to 75%, and supposedly it's going to be another day with no sun. Immediately. immediately we're getting 50 watts of power from our 100-watt panel, and we've got like a clear band to the south and southeast, you know, where the sun is that time in the morning. And you look everywhere else though, thunderclouds, dark, overcast, but just this clear gap sky just above the horizon, and you know, just that way. So that was lucky. Yeah, dark thunderclouds everywhere. Forecast says rain in the morning, clearing late afternoon. And again, the forecast is for crazy winds, gusts of 55 kilometers an hour. But we get the EcoFlow fully charged by 11:15. A little bit later than we've been doing recently, but you know, there's clouds in the sky. What can you do? But better than the forecast indicating no sun for the next day or three. Oh, Thomas has got full cloud cover, snowing or raining, so kind of a sleety kind of thing. That's remind me, Sweden or Norway? Sweden, I'm going to say. I'm bad at this. As you can see, we got clear blue sky. I don't think I can see a cloud. Not a single cloud. Norway. Oh yeah, I knew I'd get it wrong. Sorry, man. Okay, folks, where am I? Forecast says rain in the morning, clearing in the afternoon. Strong winds, yeah. EcoFlow fully charged a little bit later than normal, but it was going to be because of the clouds. Yeah. So again, lay down. It's one of these days where there's nothing to do. Walk the dog when you can in a gap in the weather, if you get one, and just lay down and watch videos and let the day pass by. But again, I was napping on and off, catching up on missed sleep, obviously. But when I do wake up, the forecast says thunder and lightning and rain. How novel. So I go outside and have a tour of the tent and patch any obvious, you know, anything obvious. I think this was where the bedroom had deteriorated some more, and I'd gone around just to try and make sure that the tarpaulin wasn't just dumping water straight inside the tent. Because I think some of the repairs I'd done previously had loosened or fallen off. So it was a final run around before the bad weather came, kind of thing. But by the time I'd finished patching the tent and I got back inside and I looked at the phone again, the forecast's changed. No thunder and lightning or rain. The more you rely on a weather forecast, the more unreliable it becomes. We're going to call this Delta Mike's Law. Murphy's got his one, and he's got. Does he do the bread that lands the wrong way down when you drop your buttered bread? If it can go wrong, it will. But the Delta Mike's Law is the more you rely on the weather forecast, the more unreliable it will be. I'll release that as a short. Somebody's probably already said it before, but it's going to be mine from now on. So where are we? So no sooner do they say no rain and no thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning, but it's still sunny. We got sun shining through from whichever side it would be. That side, 6:30. So over there somewhere. But we have the thunder for a while, thunder and lightning, and no rain to begin with. But eventually, here it comes. Heavy rain and thunder and lightning. Poor Tina. She hates the thunder and lightning. The thunder in particular, but at night when it's dark and the tent lights up with the flashes when they're nearby, she shakes and pants and slobbers. She dehydrates so much from the panting and the slobbering. The bed almost gets more wet from Tina's slobbering than it does from the rain. Almost. But, yeah, poor thing. I've got her in bed. She likes to try and push into a corner, but when she does that, she's touching two sides of the fabric, and the water will come through if you're touching the sides. So I have to physically pull her in away from the corners and try and get her under the covers and into the bed to cuddle and reassure. Every now and again she'll actually come to me directly for reassurance. Tina girl, can we stop? Stop. Hey, come I tell you, come here. Thank you. Tina! Enough. I don't think there's anybody there, darling. I don't know what you're barking at. There's not a bus, no? Oh, there's a bus at the top of the road. Can you see over my head? Can you see a bus? There you go, the red and white thing. She's defending me from the evil that is the autobus. That's my girl. That's my girl, defending her daddy. Okay, where am I, folks? I've got no idea what day I'm on or where we are. We're on Tuesday night, aren't we? Tina's bricking herself in bed, quaking, and so over the next few hours we have 2 or 3 absolute downpours, each of about 30 minutes in length, but fucking full-on torrential downpours. But the tent ceiling is dry-ish. Unfortunately, the floor of the tent, not so much. So it's not coming in from directly above. I think it's running down the walls or down the tarp on the outside and finding a gap in through the various missing walls. And you know, you've seen the tent, folks. You've seen the tent. If you haven't, if you're new here and you don't know what we're talking about, there's a playlist that will be linked probably in the pinned comment afterwards when we get there, and I'll also add it to the description somewhere high up. There's a playlist of the week of hell, which is really 3 weeks of really bad weather here in a broken tent. So you can catch up. I'm not going to go around showing the tent in full now, but suffice to say, I've got whole walls missing, the entire roof's missing, and it's kind of patched with a patchwork of tarpaulins that are at various stages of degradation. So yeah, but so the tent ceiling is dry, more or less. Some drips coming through the tarp, but they're sitting on top of the bedroom fabric. They're not coming through and running down. But when they run down the bedroom on the outside of the bedroom, they're still inside the tent. So when they hit the bottom, they're on the floor of the tent, and there are holes in the floor of the bedroom which sits on the floor of the tent, and water just come up through those holes, and we've got other gaps and rips and tears and water running in various places. Hence my wet shoes and the wet socks that we were talking about some moments ago. Let me see, how much am I missing by other people? Okay, I haven't missed anything. Chat's not talking to me, you're being quiet. That's good. No. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves or ask questions, and I'll try and come back to them later, folks, if you've got any. So guys, that where are we? 2 or 3 downpours of 30 minutes each, and the floor's wet. 10 o'clock at night though, 10 o'clock at night, relief, it's over. The storm's ended for now anyway, and sleep, me and the dog. Now Tina wouldn't eat or drink that night, so off to sleep. When she's frightened, she won't eat or drink. 2 o'clock in the morning, Tina wakes me up. She needs her walkies and she needs a drink. This is, like I said before, when she's panting a lot, when she's frightened, that's how dogs kind of, well, in summer it's how they cool themselves, but it's an evaporation thing, isn't it? They lose a lot of liquid. Plus, she's drooling out of fear, so she's losing liquid, but she wouldn't drink. So 2 o'clock in the morning, suddenly she decides it's okay to have a drink and to go for a walk and go and do what she needs to do. Yeah. So we go back to bed and we're okay, we're fine until 8 in the morning. I'm probably awake on and off with strong winds and what have you, gusting around and monitoring. But if you've watched it for a while, you know, I don't sleep fully anyway. You know, I'm a tramp in a tent next to well, there's a main road at the top of the field with drunks going past at all times of day and night. We got a track coming down here and there's cars coming along at all times of day and night. A little bit of a romantic spot at the bottom for some people, plus some houses and whatever. So you've got people coming and going. You get drunks coming down to go to the beach. It's not really a beach, but so I'm generally alert when there are people around, when there are people walking past and about. So I'm not a heavy sleeper at the moment while I'm here anyway. So yeah, but you know, I'll be playing videos or whatever, and I'll sleep when I can, as and when I can. But when I'm awake, I'm playing YouTube videos or videos, films or something that I've downloaded. So anyway, we wake up properly 8 o'clock in the morning. Kind of groggy, but properly, you know, tired and what have you, but from a broken night's sleep. But get up and start doing the things you need to do. The sun on the tent, I bring the EcoFlow through and connect it to the solar panels, put the panels out and do the things. Well, at this time, 8 o'clock in the morning, before the time changes, remember we're talking about 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. 8 o'clock in the morning is a little bit too soon, so the panel's 2/3 in the sun, 1/3 not, so it's not charging. If you get a significant portion of shadow on the solar panel, it doesn't work. But by 8:15 we're up and running. By 8:15 we're up and running and we're starting to charge. We're bringing in 40 watts and the EcoFlow is only down to 83 as it is, so it should, there's a possibility, I'm telling myself, by 9 o'clock in the morning we could be fully charged. We could have a full set of power. Remembering, folks, this is in the middle of what turned out to be 3 weeks of storm, where there were huge runs, where the weather forecast is saying no sun at all today, none tomorrow, maybe you'll get some on Saturday, or you know, whatever, you know, in 2 or 3 days time. So to keep being able to top up the EcoFlow back up to 100% and thus keep my phone and tablet and whatever else going, it's kind of marvellous. It's a big worry when you think you're going to run out of power. I know it's not the end of the world, I've discussed this before. I'm particularly sensitive to it because I spent that 5 months with nothing. No watch, no lights, no phone, no tablet, power banks, everything was ruined in the first 2 floods in this field, and I had 5 months with nothing. So when the sun went down, my day was over, and you had to wait until the sun came up the next morning. Talked about it, I'm not going to go into it all again and again, but that's the reason, for anyone new here, that's the reason I'm a little bit sensitive to the idea of running out of power. TrampCast 001 for the full, I probably cover the full backstory. I don't know whether I go into detail on that particular aspect, probably, but those early TrampCasts will cover that stuff. Okay, folks, where are we? 2/3, yeah, okay, so the panel's out, we're charging, we're going to be fully charged by 9 maybe. We didn't quite make it, but shortly thereafter. And I'm telling myself I might have to start using the television or the slow cooker or something just so that we haven't got like 8 hours of sunshine going unused, you know, not generating anything. If it carries on getting any warmer, I'll have to start using the fans soon. I've got 2 fans. But I've got one I particularly like. It's like a column with a rotating, rather than the spinning blades, rather than the propeller looking thing, the one, it's more like slats inside a drum that rotates. Really like that. It was falling apart when I got it. Tina kept standing on it and knocking it over and bashing it about all summer, so I'm not quite sure it survived. The first time I plug it in, it might go bang, or it might have a lot of the plastic that's been knocked loose in amongst those blades. It might it might crunch itself to death, I don't know. Cheers, folks. Dry tickly cough. So yeah, it's when you get a day where you've suddenly got all, when you're fully powered up by kind of 9 o'clock or 9:30 or even 10 o'clock, and if you get the sun, or like this, like today, all of this extra sun on the solar panel, and I got nothing out of it because once it hits 100, it stops. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to store it. I've got potatoes. I could be making jacket potatoes, baked potatoes. I should be doing that. Although I might make chips later. Thank you, Karen and family. Oh, by the way, folks, this was another announcement I was supposed to do earlier. I tell you what I'll do. I will do this exactly on the hour, on the hour. But what sort of entity is the legal owner of the field? I've got absolutely no idea, Thomas. Pepe, the Spanish guy here on the other side of the field, he says that he knows the family that own it. So it's just a private individual. It's just a family that own it, as far as I understand. He says he knows the son of the owner. You're private, just a private family. This was why the police have backed off, I believe, after I told them that it was private and that the owner isn't complaining. So yeah. All those times they came, and all those times they told me that it's public land and I must move. And have you seen the video where they? Well, I don't have them actually on video doing this, but I recount it immediately afterwards. I go inside the tent, sit down, and say the police have just been, and this is what happened. They literally, two cops, Tina, shush. Two cops literally had a conversation in Spanish in front of me, where one says, "Privada? Tierra is privada?" And the other one says, "Oh, that's possible, eh?" And then they turn to me and they say, "No, it's public, you must go." What the fuck? Like, they've just had the conversation right in front of me, and then they turn and lie, barefaced lie to my face. Tina, shush. Quiet, girl. They're not even here, they're way off in the distance. No hay problema para ti. Dog. Okay, folks. Another couple of minutes. I'm going to burn another couple of minutes because I want to do a little announcement to a friend. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to you for being here. Cheers to the subscribers. If there's anybody new here, give us your name. Give us your name in chat, and I'll say hello to you. I think Tina's barking because these kids are a bit yobby by the looks of things, or by the sounds of things. I think they're going the other way though. It's okay, babe. Tina's okay. Just some treats. Let's do this. Let's just for a minute, folks. Just bear with me. I'm going to give Tina a couple of treats, and I'll put the camera on her because she's the star. I know that I act like I'm the star of the show, but we all know that that's not true. Let's see whether I can do this. Can we do this? Is she on? Does that get her? I don't think it does. Do I have to do this? I have to do this manually. Oh, now I've got the sun in my eye, so I can't see. Here you go, babe. Tina treat. Have a Scooby snack. Scooby snacks for Tina. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Go on. Now you're hiding from the peoples. The peoples want to say hello. Star of the show, Tina. Here we go. Just a couple more. Just a couple more. There we go. Look, people are saying hello to Tina. Auntie Karen says hi. Auntie Karen says hello. Here we go. Oh, have you got another one? Dropped one on the floor. Take the last few, darling. I need my hands back. Tina, here. Take those. On the floor then. And you've gunked my leg. Thank you. Okay, here we go, folks. Turn this back. Here we go. We're on the hour, Karen. You know where to rewind to. So, folks, I'm led to believe that in the UK today is Mother's Day. Now, I no longer have one, but hello, Mrs. If she's up there watching. But my friend Karen here, she's got a mum and her mum's here. So I just want to say Happy Mother's Day, Christine. Hey, shout out to Christine, everybody. My friend Karen is such a help. Karen and her family, her and her entire family. And Christine's been here to the camp a few times while I've had my hair cut by my friend Karen. So shout out to Christine. Okay, I just wanted to do that, folks, because why not? Why not? Let me put my notes back down over here. Let's crack on. Oh, she says hello. Oh, I didn't know she was actually there watching. I thought you were going to rewind and show her afterwards. Hello again, Christine. Pour yourself a double. Have one on me. Okay, folks, where was I? Okay, I'd gone to sleep. I'd where am I? No. Okay, yeah, I was prattling on about how I had more sunshine than I knew what to do with. Here we go. Yeah, we started on 83%, fully charged by 9 o'clock. That's right. Okay, might have to start using slow cooker or the TV just to use up the power. Now, on this day, I got two visitors. I got two visitors to the field, and one was a real blast from the past. A couple of years ago, I used to sit on cliff tops, about 500-600 meters that way, and a couple used to walk past and say hello to me. Norwegian couple, Henning and his wife. And I thought her name was like unpronounceable, but her name is something along the lines of Runway. But I'm obviously, you've got those vowels and those. When I say runway, he tells me I've got it wrong, and then he says runway, and I can't hear the difference. I'm assuming it's something like Bronwyn would be like Welsh or whatever. But there's just, they have intonations and vowels that I can't get anywhere near. So, but my friend Henning, I think he'd been to the Chino Bazaar to buy a few bits and pieces. He looked over, saw the tent was here and that I was still here, and he came over and said hello. So we sat down and had a chat for half an hour or an hour, which was nice. So thank you for that, Henning. And all the best to your wife, who isn't in the best of health at the minute. But to hope, well, I don't know if I wish her all the best. I don't know whether it's a case of get well soon, or if it's a more long-term thing. But all the best to the pair of you. And yeah, I remember those days when I would be drying my clothes and things on the backs of the chairs, drying my bedding on the public seats on the top of the cliffs, and you guys would come by, and Henning would often just whatever loose change he had in his pocket, he would pass me. So thank you, Henning. And later the same day, my mate Tom came by and brought I think it was a pasta bolognese this time. And we sat and chatted, but yeah, cheers Tom, he's been back a few times since. What's that say? Oh yeah, okay, while I was sat chatting with Tom, it felt like rain and it was going dark early, so we brought the discussion to an early conclusion, because oh, how are we for sound, folks? If you're getting any popping or if the wind's on the microphone, I've got a sponge I can put over the phone if you need it. Let me know. I know sometimes when I get louder or the voice gets a little deeper, sometimes you get these pops and clicks with YouTube. So let me know how that is. But yeah, cheers to Tom for coming around that day. So that was Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. So Thursday, 8 a.m. walk is with my doggy, and for once we have a consensus in the weather forecast. Consensus with the weather forecast. They're all saying, roughly speaking, 7 millimeters of rain starting at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and no breaking cloud until late afternoon. So possibly the only chance to get the sun would be to get the solar would be to chase the sun and put the panels at the other side of the field late afternoon, early evening. Maybe, we'll see. Likewise, the forecast is saying that the next day going to be overcast all day, possible rain and all of that, and maybe. So this is Thursday. They're basically saying it's possible that it will be Saturday before we next get some sunshine. Bearing in mind, I'm living on solar. I'm a tramp in a field with a solar panel. Thanks to you guys. Just for anyone new who doesn't know the backstory of that, a year ago, when I was receiving donations towards a tent, I got enough donations to get a tent, but then Karen was wanting to buy the thing outright, but I wouldn't let her do that. So Karen paid half, and I used your donations to pay the other half, which left me with a few euros spare. So I got the EcoFlow first, because I had two small solar panels, 10 watts each, 20 watts total. But Karen helped me with shopping for the big solar panel here to make proper use of the EcoFlow. Thank you, Karen and family. But so that's that, folks. That's why I make such a markup from 20 watts, and even that was a fantastic upswing from when I had those foldable panels that only produced 5 or 7 watts and that were degrading and falling apart over time. So you guys and your predecessors have all been marvellous and ever such a help to a guy stuck in a field in foreign lands. So yeah, this is why I'm kind of fixated in this storm. I'm fixated on trying to maintain power, keep it at or around 100%, because we might have 2 or 3 days with no power any day now. So on Thursday morning, I'm reading that it might be Saturday before we get any actual sun. Maybe we'll get a little bit Thursday afternoon if we're lucky. Shush, shush, Tina. No, come on, you've had treats. No, don't look at me like that. Just because I said treats doesn't mean you're getting any more. No, I'm saying that you've had them. No mas, no more. I shouldn't have said the word, should I? Okay, where am I? We're on Thursday morning. Again, folks, we get a little bit of brightness, not sun, but some less dark, and we get the EcoFlow moving. So from 9:30 onwards, we're getting like 20 watts, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. So if you remember, I explained previously that if we're getting somewhere around 16 watts clear, we charge the EcoFlow. If it's less than that, 15 or under, we charge phones or tablets or whatever, because it's not enough to actually, for the EcoFlow to do its thing and store it in the batteries. So there's a little bit of a dance going on, monitoring it for whether you think it's bright enough. Coming back out of the bedroom, looking at the EcoFlow. Oh, we're under the threshold, put the phone on rather than let the EcoFlow charge. That kind of thing. So we're dancing about whether we're charging the phones and other things, or whether we're charging the EcoFlow. But we start to get bad weather, and the forecast starts to look like hell. And I made a video at this point about the forecasts and the rain. I'm gonna guess. Oh wow! No, Ivan! No! Oh, thank you, Ivan. That's a PayPal donation, folks. Shout out to Ivan. You've thrown me now. I'm getting kind of emotional. Okay, where am I? Okay, yeah, I made a video about this weather forecast and the heavy rain and yeah. And we like I said, we got the heavy rain that was forecast actually arrived. We got bad weather, and I think at that point we only got through that because I'd been out and pulled the tarps tight kind of the day before. So I was this was when I got a little bit cocky, folks. If you watch back at some of the videos, I'm looking up at the ceiling and I can see the rain bouncing off and running off, and I'm like, oh, I'm confident in the ceiling now. We'd had some water incursion at an earlier point, but after pulling the tarp tight, it was running off as it should be designed to do. But the tap's been on there a while now, and it's got its holes, and it's, you know, if the water just start pooling and can find a pinprick to come through, it will come through. But on this day, we survived. We got through. We got through kind of more or less intact. So this was where I decided. I'm not quite sure of the time. 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. I think I decided at 9, and we went live at 10. We did a TrampCast special. And I think this was the one where it was partly, hey, the second week of hell, or you know, day 13 or whatever it was of the week of hell. But also I was marking, was it 125,000 views of my videos? 1/8 of a million. I know 1/8 of a million's not a big deal, but for a tramp in a field, it's not bad, is it? I don't think so. Yeah. So we went live, and 3.5 hours, folks. 3.5 hours of yeah. I got no idea what we talked about. I've played it back a couple of times, but they're all merging into one now because we've done a few of those late night live streams. I quite enjoy them. They work best if I've got a few topics in mind to act as a springboard or to guide the conversation a little bit. Or if you get a few new people come in who are asking like the basic questions, I direct them to TrampCast 001, but I'll also give a quick recap of the story, which might take 10 or 15 minutes. Hence, time flies when you're having fun. So that was late night Thursday into you know, very early Friday hours. And this was where my mate Tom was leaving the country. Tom that comes round and brings me a meal every now and again. About once a week actually lately. But he was leaving the country, so he stopped off and brought, you know, the remnants from his cupboard, the things that would go off before he got back a few weeks later. So Tom stopped off at 2:30 in the morning, so I had to stay awake. I set an alarm just to make sure I was awake to meet him, and I went up the field and graciously accepted the bag of goodies that he brought. So again, back in the tent, back to sleep, and well, off to sleep. I'd not been asleep at that point. Woke up at 6 a.m. with rain, and nothing too much, nothing too bad for once. Solar out at 8 o'clock. Woke Tina, made coffee for once. No wind. Well, less wind. Trying to my gas burner, when there's a strong wind, half of the gas is getting blown away before it burns. So it takes longer, and you have to turn the gas up more to maintain the flame, and it takes longer. You're basically wasting gas. So for a few days I wasn't making coffee outside. If you remember, I talked about taking the risk and using the little camp stove inside, 5 minutes at a time on a totally wet carpet, standing on a brick on top of a totally wet carpet. Me in in attendance at all times, dog in another room in the tent so she's not knocking it over, and literally if you did knock it over, it couldn't set fire to the carpet because the carpet was waterlogged. Step on it and get a puddle around my foot. So I know people will say don't do it, but I did. But on this particular day, the Friday morning, I was able to come out and actually make coffee out here because the wind dropped for a little bit. It won't be for long. I can't quite remember. That's why I need the notes, folks. This is the problem, doing the TrampCasts a few weeks behind. So as a reminder for anyone who's just dropped in, we're discussing the week ending March the 16th of this year. We're a few episodes behind, and I'm gonna try and get caught up this week. I failed in my attempts this last week, but we will get there. Anyway, got my coffee and did the intro to a video. My intention was to do bits through the day and you know, make a video, which I think I did in the end. I think I did on this particular day. Again, folks, I checked the weather forecast. Would you believe it? Thunder and lightning. But it keeps getting put back. It gets put back to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But again, this is what they're saying, solid rain until 2 o'clock the next morning. And then later it gets put back to 3 o'clock before it starts. So 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've been out, I've got my coffee, I've done all these things, I've started making a video, and I've checked the weather forecast. It's 9 in the morning, and we're expecting rain. Well, take your pick. 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. There's going to be thunder and lightning, so they say. Okay. Suddenly, maybe no thunder and lightning, maybe just rain. Go around the tent, inspect, pull tarps tight, reattach pegs that are coming loose, the clamps that I used to hold the tarp on, tighten any of the guy lines and things that have worked their way loose. The usual running repairs, the usual running preparations ahead of a storm. This is where I say to myself, like, so I'd got confident in the tent ceiling. You know, it had rained and nothing had come in, and I'm like, oh, we're going to be all right. I'm confident in the roof. But you know, I'm confident. I'm not stupid. So do all the preparations and act as though it could happen and could go wrong. All the usual storm preparations. Dry clothes hidden in the bed, an extra pair of shoes somewhere around, a coat or two, all those things. Is it another one? Oh, guys. Terry, thank you. Thank you, Terry. That ain't cheap. Let me just go back. I should have. Oh, don't click wrong, Dean. If you click wrong, oh, doxed myself. Yeah, both of you. Ivan and Terry. That ain't cheap, as we say around here, for those kind of values. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. I doxed myself there, though. Okay, where am I? Lost my place on the page, folks. Just give us a second. I'll get there. So we've got thunder and lightning inbound, and I'm confident, not stupid. 20 past 10. L Dubs, hello. Hope I'm doing well. Okay for now. Yeah. Good weather at the minute, and it looks like it's going to be good for the next few days. Well, I haven't actually checked for a day or two, but the last I checked, it was a sunny day every day, and no surprises. So, and as you can see, it's quite nice right now. So nice, I've got my parasol out ready in case it's needed, but I don't think it is. I think we're going to manage. Anyway, where are we? I keep recording clips through the day of the weather forecasts and how we're doing, and whether at how the weather's doing. Eco flow's up to 100%, despite this being a day when there wasn't going to be any sun, so that's good. I released the Thursday video, the video that I'd made Thursday, I released on the Friday, even though I'm making a video on Friday as well. But I got the Thursday one released. I think that's the one that's labelled Day 13 of the week from hell. I think. I get confused now looking back. Folks, there's a playlist called The Week of Hell, or just Week of Hell. And all of the videos released between the 9th and the 16th will be the videos from the week that we're covering here. If you want to, if anybody's interested and wants to go back through them, if you haven't seen them. And I have got to say, most of the videos through the week of hell, the 3 weeks of the week of hell, they all did pretty good. And most of them were going out to subscribers, but also to new people. And new people were clicking on them, and I did get a lot of subscribers from that. Whenever I'm, in danger of drowning in my tent, there's another playlist, if you look back, and some of these videos went into both. There's another playlist called The Rain in Spain Falls Mainly on Me, which goes back, covers the bad weather all the time I've been YouTubing as a tramp. So yeah, but I do well. Bad weather attracts viewers. My struggles, mein Kampf. Oh. Okay, where am I? Released a video, okay. Oh, I spent the whole day waiting for the TrampCast special from the previous night to be processed by YouTube. Dadachowski, hello there, my friend. I'll send you an email after. I spent the whole day waiting for the TrampCast from the night before to be processed by YouTube, so that the live chat replay is available. Because I wanted to go back through and check a few things and make a few notes of a few things. But all day, they took forever. Maybe because it was a longer video, just took them longer to get through it. But I was keen to watch it back. Now, here comes the thunder and lightning. No, it doesn't. It gets put back again. Welcome to my life. It gets put back and back and back. Now, 5 o'clock, we finally get the rain and the thunder and lightning. And in a little while, heavy rain, like the proper real torrential stuff. And halfway through it, 2 hours later, I fall asleep. I just could not stay awake any longer. I was that far behind with my sleep. Even though we were in the middle of a storm, I could not stay awake, which is dangerous because, the roof could blow off or it could start raining in on me. Like the previous week when I woke up with a wet crotch where the roof started leaking and wet the bed. The rain wet the bed, not me. Don't start telling your own jokes again. But this did get bad. Now, a couple of hours after I fell asleep, Tina woke me up, barking like continuously, like which unusual for Tina. I know when people are walking past here, she does bark a bit, but for it to be enough to wake me up, like for me to hear it in my sleep and then realise that it's for real, and then react and wake up, especially when I'm in a deep sleep, which I was, something was wrong. Mice. Little bastards. Mice. Scurrying around, multiple of them, 2, maybe 3 that you can hear in the other part of the tent. And one is in the fucking bedroom, little bastard. Sorry, I hate Mises to pieces. Mr. Jinx, I believe. Yeah. So for an hour, I'm chasing the sounds and I'm chasing the mice. And at one point, I'm stood in the doorway of my bedroom, and the little bastard runs out of the bedroom right past my foot, and its tail drags along my foot. Contact with the little buggers. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. Got to get those traps. Got to get some traps sorted. I decided the other day I'm going to eat them. The first 2 or 3 I catch, I'm going to eat them, little bastards. I'm gonna hold them in the flames of the fire here, burn the fur off. Then I'm going to gut them, put them back in the flames for a bit, roast the little buggers, and I'm going to just fucking eat them whole. I've seen them done on a survival type program. It's going to be my revenge with the little buggers. I might even make a video of it. Oh fucks! They are harassing the shit out of me right now. Not so bad last night, but the night before every time I got back into bed, there'd be rustle, 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 and I'm coming out and chasing them around, and get back into bed, rustle, rustle, rustle. Yesterday, the edge of this tent, I'll show you quickly. Oh, losing my notes. Just give us a second. First click didn't work. Second click, we're back to the second click. Okay, you see the bucket and the piece of wood? Well, I've lifted that light band that was on the floor a few days ago is now kind of 6 or 8 inches off the ground because of the bucket and the piece of wood. So I've lifted this edge because this is where they were coming in. What I've also done is at that left edge, so in there's a bedroom, they can't just walk under the bedroom or whatever, but at the left and at the right there's a gap between the bedroom and the wall of the tent. So they go down there. So I've put a couple of these empty plastic water bottles crushed in the gully there, in the gap. So if they do try and walk in, if they do try and walk in, I'll at least get an audible warning. But these are not the only spots that they get in. With that, I did that yesterday, and I had much fewer incidents in the night, but I think one came in from the other end. Got to keep trying. There's also still, I've put a plastic, like a plastic box, like a plastic biscuit tin, over the mouse hole where they were coming in, and put something heavy on top, so they can't just pop up there and run around, not without making a noise or disturbing things. But I am going to eat the little bastards when I catch them. The first 2 or 3, I'm going to make a meal of them. Could make a stew, couldn't I? Like a ratatouille, but a mouse-a-touille. A mouse or 2 here. That'll do. Two mice as ingredients in my stew. Farmer, hello my friend. I think you're the only one from Scruff Dog or Big Clive. I don't think I've seen anybody else yet. Welcome. Where am I, folks? Where am I? We're talking about the week ending Sunday, March the 16th, and I'm on. Remind me, am I still on Friday? I am. I was waiting for the TrampCast special from the previous night to come, and then the thunder and lightning started. And Tina woke me with the barking after I fell asleep, and I chased mice around in the tent. That's right, that's where I went off on a tangent. This, folks, an hour or so later, this was where I found the entry point for the mice. Or we found one previously, which we seem to have dissuaded them from using. But I found one behind my coffee table, between the coffee table and the bedroom. I know, I'm in a tent with a carpet and a high backed chair. But behind the coffee table, and before the bedroom fabric wall, a big pile of earth, 4 biscuit tins full, maybe 5, I can't quite remember, 4 or 5 that I had to bail and throw out of the tent, from where the mice have dug in and maybe dug a nest underneath. I think they may be living there. You knocking the pedestal, Tina girl? Don't do that. Let's have a think. Quick swig. So I found that and immediately took a 1.5 litres of a noxious substance. It's, you know, the pot to piss in. I poured it right down that there hole, and I don't think we heard much more from them that night. 1.5 litres is a goodly amount to be pouring down in it. That'll disturb them if they're asleep down there. I know I had a suggestion from someone last week to use salt. I've tried it. It hasn't worked. Maybe I haven't thrown enough. Maybe I'm not putting it in the right place. Peanut butter, yeah. I had success last year with ketchup and also chocolate spread, which has a peanut butter base anyway, doesn't it? I think your Nutellas and things. I think they have a peanut butter base. Yeah, but I've got to get the traps first. The only shop I could get some from, they would explode within a week. They would break, so they're no fun for me. Okay, found mouse entry point. Here we go. And then eventually I covered it with things, but they'll just dig around next to it and around it. But between that and blocking where they were coming in at this end, or not so much blocking, but making it more difficult, I've had some success in reducing them at times, but at other times they run riot and they're a real fucking pain in the ass. When you wake up the next morning and something that's less than 1 metre from your head has got mouse droppings on, so they've been within 1 metre of you in your bedroom while you're asleep. Not great. Not great. And my bedroom, it used to be, you see, obviously when the tent was new and all the zips worked, you'd fasten the bedroom, you know, the zip would fasten all the way around properly, and you were secure from them, you were safe from them. But over time, this is this thing where, look at this, I picked a can up and never got a swig. This is the thing where over time, the arches, the tent poles, the weight of the tent with having the, well, partly just probably over time, but also the extra weight of tarpaulins and things, the top is being pushed down, which pushes the sides out, and then the bedrooms and things that are suspended inside get pulled outwards, and the zips no longer reach. Things don't fit anymore. Let's have a look. I mean, we're in a field, so I'm guessing they're field mice, but yeah, it's not good. But they're not frightened of the dog, and she usually doesn't bother with them. What have I named the mouse? No names. I haven't named the little buggers. Jerry, maybe. Tom and Jerry. But yeah, Tina normally doesn't bother with them, but this one day she went absolutely ape at something, and I could hear the mice running around, so I'm presuming it was that. Probably the one in the bedroom. You never know, it might even have run across the bed. We had that, not this year, but last year I had one run down the edge of the bed while I was laying there. Not great, folks. Not. Oh, okay. No, I mean, I wasn't, you know what I mean, I wasn't prompting. It's more the fact that I can't get anywhere to go shopping, and this Chino Bazaar here, I've had them from there last year, and they literally exploded the first day. The first time they snap closed and don't have anything in, it pulls the staples out and the whole spring mechanism flies away. Oh, okay, you no, I don't think there's anything like that, Farmer. I don't think so. And there's no evidence of that. I got some people who don't like the fact I'm here, but I've had very little in the way of malicious behaviour or anything from anybody. A couple of kids threw stones a couple of months back. A couple of kids come through the field last week or the week before, but they were just daring each other. They were just challenging each other to get near the scary man in the field. Not that I'm that scary really, but yeah, anyway, where am I? Okay, so later the same night, This was where there was a party on the balcony of one of the apartments. Yobs stroke holiday makers who decide to just keep safe. I shall always try and keep safe and dry. That was always the priority, to keep me and the dog dry, even though we had a lot of water ingress into the tent. A lot. But yeah, with music on the balcony. But I was so tired that didn't keep me awake. Yeah, no, I don't worry about kids. Apart from the ones who threw the big stone, and it was a fucking big stone. I had my head against the back of the tent, and the stone hit like there, on the outside of the tent, and dropped to the floor. But if that had been there, it would have probably been a hospital job. It was a rock like that. I wasn't happy about that. I chased them up the field. They were about 20 yards ahead of me by the time I got to the top of the field, but they had these, these electric scooters. They had electric scooters waiting, so I wasn't able to tell them off properly. Okay, so Yob's on the balcony with music all night and screaming and all of that stuff, but doesn't keep me awake. Saturday morning, the sun's out. The EcoFlow. I put the solar panel out, and for an hour I sat there all contented that the EcoFlow must be getting powered. I've not plugged the fucking panel into the EcoFlow. I've carried it into the bedroom at night. I brought it back through, and then I don't know, something's distracted me. I've put it down in its place, but Tina or something's happened, and I haven't plugged the wire from the solar panel in. So I'm sat there like a dickhead for a quarter of an hour or half an hour, or maybe more, maybe nearer an hour, telling myself that the EcoFlow is getting nicely charged, and no. But this was the day, yeah, before that. So as I put the panel out, shush Tina. As I put the panel out, instead of just facing kind of south as I normally do with it, I turned it more to the east because the sun was just that. It was like almost sideways onto the panel. So I turned the panel 45 degrees that way. So I don't want to be coming out and tracking the sun like all day. But if I can have just 2 or 3 spots where it points, I'm happy to make a couple of adjustments in the day to it. So I put it out facing that way. But this was where my back and my backside in particular felt really cold as the breeze caught me. And that's when I realised that I was wet. My back and my backside were wet. And what it was, there was so much water on the floor of the tent. So it hadn't so much been coming from the ceiling, but it's coming in the walls and under the floor, where it goes down the outer side of the bedroom, inside the tent. But on the floor of the tent, under the floor of the bedroom, and the bedroom floor's got a few little holes in it, friction from one of the stones on the floor and things. So water gets through one way or another, and we've got puddles of water there, and the mattress are lying directly on the floor. I know. But the bottom, I'm on top of 2 double mattresses. The bottom mattress is just an absolute sponge, it's just wet through. The top mattress, the bottom half was wet. And where I'm sat up at night, so like watching videos or reading something or whatever, or just getting out of bed, when my backside makes the depression in the top mattress, I'm squeezing water out. Some of it goes on the floor, comes out of the mattress, but some of it forms a puddle in the top mattress. And this is what I've been when I've been moving around at night, I've got a wet back. Because I'm so warm in bed, I've not even noticed till I get outside in the breeze. And yeah, this was where I knew that we were fighting a losing battle with the water. I mean, I knew that we were what were we, 13 or 14 days into storms almost every day, most days, probably 9 or 10 out of the 14 total storms. May probably rain on the other days at some point anyway, and in a broken tent with a bed on the floor, because the things that I would have used previously to build a bed, and I've got a video where I did build a bed once. 4 piles of bricks, 2 cross beams, 4 planks, and then the mattresses on the planks. But the police took the planks away. Fire risk, folks, fire risk. They left logs, they left half a tree, but planks were a fire risk. So was my green plastic furniture and my barbecue. Gas barbecue and gas bottles, fire risk. Bottles of water, fire risk. Flasks, pans, cutlery, plates, fire risk, the lot. They took them. It's out there, the video's there. It's not the nicest video to watch because I do get bullshit with the bastards. But you would too, folks. You would too if it happened to you. Name that song. It's my party. And I'll cry if I want to. Where am I? So my backside's wet while I'm putting the panel out. Oh, this is where Pepe, the Spanish guy from across the field. Tim Timoney, hello. Where am I? Pepe visits. Wants to charge his phone. Normally he goes off to work for the day, and when he's got work, and charges his phone wherever he's at, or if he's got money in his pocket, he'll go to a bar or a restaurant and charge his phone wherever he's at. He's got no charging capability here. He's got no cooking capability here. He just buys his food ready to eat wherever. But he comes over, he hasn't worked for a few days, he's out of cash, he's not going anywhere. Can he charge his phone? And I've never known a mobile phone charge so slowly. Had it plugged in for over 3 hours and only added about 20 percentage points to it. And it's not because it's got a huge battery either. It's only drawing, half the time it would draw 2 watts, the other half it wouldn't draw any. 2 watts, 0, 2 watts, 0. Changed it. I tried multiple different ports on the EcoFlow, and even the cigarette, the USB ports on the cigarette lighter thing that I've got. But it was all the same. It's the phone, not the EcoFlow. Yeah, this was micro USB, so there is only one way with everything. My phone's a little bit weird about USB-C. Yeah. You can pull the cable out and put it back in the other way and get more watts out. But no, this is just micro USB, so shouldn't be that picky. Tim is asking if I had a bike. No, never had a bike here. My mate Joby has a bike. So my mate Joby has a bike, and he's the other side of Torrevieja. The guy looked right at me, I waved, he looked away. Okay. But Pepe came over, and he was over for about 3 hours, so that took a big chunk of my day. He hasn't got a word of English hardly, maybe 4 words of English. My Spanish is minimal. I can put a sentence together, but it'll be all the verbs will be conjugated incorrectly, and I might pick the odd word every now and again. I might reverse the meaning of stuff. Instead of saying you want this, I'll say I want this, and yeah. But we get through. We make ourselves understood in the end, and we've always got Google Translate if we get really stuck. But he came over and visited. This was where I edited and released the wet bed video. Obviously I dragged out the top mattress. The weather was going to get bad again that night, so I didn't have time to drag out both and get anything going. But I started to dry out the top mattress, and I put a waterproof sheeting on the top of the bottom mattress to try and stop the water coming up to the top mattress. So I did a quick video just of that and released that. And as I do, I often spend, after I've released a video, I'm watching the stats. I'm a number obsessed kind of guy. Wonderful life there, Chief, says Tim Timoney. Sometimes, when you get a nice afternoon like this, yeah. When you have 3 weeks of thunderstorms and rain and your bed's wet, and maybe not so much. And when you've got mice running around, and last year we had rats running around, because the tent last year, the walls came down and stopped. They weren't a part of the floor, they weren't joined on. It was a separate ground sheet. So mice and rats could just come under at any point. Yeah, that was a battle. That wasn't great. And even though now I'm saying I want traps and to start killing them and what have you, if you watch back to how I reacted when I was killing them, I wasn't happy about it. I was not happy. Tina, shush, shush. Hey, quiet girl. I wasn't happy about it, and then there was the time that I had a trap that was primed and I lifted it up and put it on a surface, and a poor bird came and went for the bait and triggered it, and we were left with kind of a blackbird hanging dangling from this platform. So the unintended consequences of having traps laying around. And back then Tina was running through the traps as well at times. No, Tina, I mean, she's totally immobile at the minute. I have to pick her up and carry the back end around or support it while she walks. She's never really reacted to them, apart from one time we had them running around the tent and she insisted on being outside overnight. One I think it was a late summer or early autumn. She insisted on being outside the tent overnight, so I tied her to something and she stayed out. And when I got up the next day, there was a dead rat with 2 puncture marks under its neck, under its chin. I think that was her that got in. I can't be sure. It could have been a cat or something, but I think that was her. But that's the only time. Normally she doesn't even react to them, which is why I was surprised when the night I was talking about here, when she woke me up and there was mice running around the tent, and I think that's what she was reacting to. Can't be certain, but I think so. Anyway, let's get back to it. We're talking about the Saturday of the week ending March the 16th. So Saturday, March the 15th. Pepe's been around. I've put my wet bed out to dry. And, well, this is where I move things back inside, evening, 6, 7 o'clock. And I get on the bed and it's kind of dry and warm again. That was the thing I first noticed about the bed, was that my body heat wasn't warming the bed. So long before I knew it was wet, or I knew that the water had got that high up the mattress, long before that I could feel the cooling of the mattress. So I've dried the top one partially, and I've got into bed. I fall asleep 7 o'clock for a 5-hour nap, 7 while 12 on a Saturday night. And so I missed my mate Big Clive. I missed Big Clive's channel, bigclive.com. His live stream is over on, not Kick, the other one. Does it begin with a T? Farmer's here, he'll tell me. What's the platform that Big Clive does his live stream? I was there last night. It's not Kick, it's not Rumble. I can't remember, folks. Anyway, I missed Big Clive this particular week because I was fast asleep. I missed the first half of Scruff Dog as well, which is the other thing I watch on a Saturday. These are like the highlights of my week. These are my big. Used to be Friday Night Tights. Given up on that. Twitch. There you go. I knew it began with a T. I was right for once. Normally I do that. It begins with a T and there'll be a T at the end or something. Yeah. But thanks for that. But I missed. Oh, you got ninjured, Dadatrosky. Where am I? Yeah, I used to watch Friday Night Tights. That used to be my highlight. But Scruff Dog and Big Clive were in the list as well, in the top 3 or 4. But anyway, yeah, I missed. I woke up and watched the second half of Scruff Dog. Yeah. So here we go. Sunday morning, folks. Dog walk. Put out the solar. No coffee. I've run out. No coffee at that point. There's no coffee to be had. 11:30 in the morning, rain. Wasn't forecast until after it started. That's the type of forecast I'm fucking putting up with. You know? Forecasting is difficult, especially about the future. So let's forecast about what's already happening. Oh look, it's raining. Update the forecast to say rain. That's the kind of shit. Yeah. Literally wasn't forecast until it was already raining. This is where I sat back and I made a top 5 list of the videos from the Week of Hell playlist. Bearing in mind we're 2 weeks into the 1 week of hell. But I made a list and started releasing them as tweets and probably on the YouTube community posts as well. This was where I dug out the mouse hole that I'd found previously. I scooped all the dirt out and threw it all away. And then of course we get 30 minutes of rain. No, 30 minutes it turns really overcast and then 5 minutes of rain. But Tina, shush shush. Sunday, so I'm doing my TrampCast notes, but it gets all windy again. And this was where I jibbed. This is why we're so far behind. I didn't do a TrampCast this day, despite getting halfway through the preparations. The winds were there, the weather was looking bad, and I was, you know, checking the tent and preparing in case it got worse, and just didn't have the time to do all the notes, to transcribe the notes from my text files to the paper. Hello, Gary. Mountain Camp. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to make a list of the regulars and your real names where I can, because it's just not here. It's just not here. It does not compute. Okay, folks, basically that was the week that was. Prepared to do a TrampCast, but only got halfway through the preps and then had to call it off because the weather was turning bad on me. You see, when I'm sat inside doing the notes, I need to have the door open and some sunshine just so that it's light enough, bright enough inside to do what I need to do. When it gets all dull and overcast outside and I've got the door closed because it's going to rain, Farmer's still here just grabbing a coffee. Okay, but I'm about to finish. I think I'm about to wrap up. We're just finished the Sunday. We preparing for TrampCast. Weather turned bad, didn't do it, and hence we're 2 weeks behind with everything. But I'm going to say now, if I can, Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to get the 2 missing weeks in, because I don't like doing these behind. I don't actually remember all of the details, and I get some things wrong by trying to remember 2 or 3 weeks ago. Stopped it. You're not supposed to do that. That can cause an aortic aneurysm, an abdominal aortic aneurysm. But I've done that since I was a kid. Suppressing sneezes. Okay, we're up to date, folks. Now, the last thing that we usually do is talk about upcoming, what are my worries for the upcoming week, the week after March the 16th. So the week ending 23rd, the week ending last Sunday. It's the same again. Are the storms going to end? Is the week of hell that's already 2 weeks long going to end? Can we stay dry? All of that good stuff. Can we stay dry in bed? Can we stay warm and dry? Even if the bed gets wet, can we just not be laying in a puddle? Can we get things out and get them dried? All that good stuff. The mice is obviously an ongoing thing for this following week. All of that stuff, maintaining power levels, all of that. I suppressed it. There's no need to say bless me. I didn't sneeze. I stopped it. But thanks anyway. Let's do a, because we did have a beer sponsor, Ivan, if you're there. Thank you for the sponsorship, the donation. Cheers, folks. Cheers to you guys for being here to the bitter end. Cheers to the subscribers. Skål, Thomas. Skål. Chippies, if any of my Finnish friends are here. Salud, if there's any Spanish here. Or we've got people here in Spain, so salud to you. Cheers to the Brits and other English speakers. Oh, it looks like we had a brief glitch. Jack Attack, you're just arriving, or have you've been lurking in the background? I'm just about to draw this one to a close. There is a chance that I might do a TrampCast special or a hangout or some such later tonight. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Jack Attack was lurking the whole time. How dare you? How very, very dare you? Especially when you leave me hanging with some of the things, like when I couldn't remember. Okay, message from Anthony. Cheers. Okay, folks, I will bring it to a close now in the traditional way. I've still got a cup and a half of coffee and half a can of beer. But if anyone is around tonight, say 10 o'clock, watch out just in case there is a TrampCast special or TrampCast hangout. There may be. I'm not sure yet, as I said. You're going to turn? Back to doing 2 clinks. So, hey babe. Hey, Tina. Treats. So, from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. Out. Awkward.